This podcast is sponsored by the online course, Intro to Psychology, with Dr. Bo Bennett, PhD. Uncover the secrets of the human mind and transform your life at introtopsych.com. Start your journey today.
Psychology of Consciousness, Debates Explained, the Intro to Psychology Concepts. Explore the fascinating psychology of consciousness debates, breaking down key theories and concepts shaping our understanding of the mind. The Psychology of Consciousness Debates. What's really going on in our heads? Hey, I've been thinking a lot about consciousness lately, the way we experience the world, ourselves, thoughts and emotions. It's one of those elusive topics that psychologists, neuroscientists, and philosophers have been grappling with for ages. You know, even though we all know what it feels like to be conscious, trying to pin down exactly what consciousness is and how it works sparks some of the most intense debates in psychology. So picture this. I'm explaining this to a friend, like you, who maybe just took an Intro to Psychology course or heard something about it in a conversation and want to understand what's actually going on behind the scenes. Consciousness isn't just a simple switch that flips on when we wake up. It's this complex set of psychological concepts that continue to puzzle experts. Let's start with why consciousness puzzles psychologists so much. At the core, consciousness refers to our subjective experience, how we feel and perceive things in real time. Think about the feeling of tasting coffee, hearing music, or recalling a memory. These experiences are what we call phenomenal consciousness. This subjective what it's like aspect makes it tricky to study objectively. You can't just look at a brain scan and pinpoint here's consciousness. There isn't a universal scientific measurement for that personal inner world. Now, historically, a lot of psychology theories approach consciousness differently. Some early behaviorists, remember from Psychology 101, even dismissed consciousness as unnecessary for understanding behavior. They argued that studying observable actions was enough since consciousness was too subjective and not measurable. But that viewpoint lost ground as cognitive psychology gained momentum, especially with advances in neuroscience and brain imaging. One major debate centers on the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers. Simply put, it distinguishes between easy problems, like identifying brain processes underlying sensory input, and the hard problem, which is why and how subjective experiences even arise from physical brain activity at all. It's the classic mind-body conundrum. How do electrical impulses and neurons firing translate into the rich, vivid experience of being? There are several competing theories explaining consciousness. Dualism. The idea that mind and body are separate. Consciousness isn't purely physical, it exists in some non-physical realm. Physicalism, materialism. Everything about consciousness can be explained by brain activity and physical processes, no ghost in the machine. Functionalism. Consciousness is about what mental states do, not what they are made of, like software running on hardware. Integrated information theory, IET, proposes that consciousness corresponds to the integration of information in the brain, with more integrated information equating to higher consciousness. Global workspace theory suggests consciousness is the brain's way of broadcasting information to multiple systems at once, enabling coordination and decision-making. Each theory captures a piece of the puzzle but also leaves open questions. For instance, while physicalism resonates with most neuroscientists, it struggles to explain subjective experiences' qualitative feel, or qualia. Conversely, dualism offers a neat solution to the hard problem, but raises issues about how two fundamentally different substances interact. These ongoing debates illustrate how consciousness is one of the hottest topics in psychology topics right now. Another fascinating angle is altered states of consciousness. Think about dreaming, hypnosis, meditation, drug-induced states, or even daydreaming. These states challenge our understanding of a baseline normal consciousness and suggest that consciousness isn't monolithic but dynamic and fluid. Modern research often studies these states to better understand how consciousness can shift and change, revealing its architecture piece by piece. From an education perspective, introducing these ideas early in psychology education is crucial. They get students to wrestle with big questions about human experience, the mind-body link, and the limits of scientific inquiry. If you're interested in exploring this further, the Intro to Psychology course by Dr. Bo Bennett On the Viversity.com platform offers a solid foundation that covers these debates and more. It's a perfect place to start if you want to see how consciousness fits within broader psychological frameworks. What's really cool is that understanding these psychological concepts about consciousness doesn't just remain theoretical. It has practical implications too. For example, how we approach mental health, artificial intelligence, and even legal questions about accountability can depend heavily on what stance we take about consciousness. Is a person conscious enough to make decisions? Can machines ever be conscious? These questions aren't just sci-fi, they're grounded in actual psychological theories and research. To wrap this up, the psychology of consciousness debates remind us how complex the human mind is and how much we still have to learn. It connects philosophy, neuroscience, cognitive science, and psychology education all in one lively conversation. If you find this fascinating, and honestly, who isn't curious about what's going on inside their head? I definitely encourage you to check out some formal courses that can give you a structured look into these topics. So, if you want to dive deeper into these Psychology 101 level ideas and beyond, you should definitely enroll now to understand human behavior in a more profound way. The Intro to Psychology course by Dr. Bo Bennett provides a user-friendly, engaging, and comprehensive look at some of the most intriguing psychological debates, including consciousness. With these big questions still open and theories evolving, it's a perfect time to join the discussion and see for yourself how the puzzle of consciousness fits into the bigger picture of psychology.